Hello, citizens of Gotham. My name is Graham Elwood, and you are watching The Political Vigilante. It is Thursday, November 5th, 2020. To my knowledge, we still have no... let's check real quick if we have any... Yep. Let's bring it up here. As of... Yeah. We're going to bring Jimmy Dore on the show in a second, ladies and gentlemen. But welcome to the show. Please hit the like button, subscribe, do all that. If you haven't subscribed to us before, that would be eternally grateful. They have throttled us yet again, which is always frustrating. So I'm going to just bring up the big screen here for a second. There it is. According to the New York Times, Arizona and Nevada are still in dispute, or not, just still being counted. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia still being counted. They're all still being counted. Okay, there we go. We're going to talk to Jimmy about all this. And welcome. We're also simulcasting on the Rockfin. So thank you to everybody over on the Rockfin. Boom, boom, pow. And we are also live on Facebook. My Facebook fan page is facebook.com/Graham Elwood Comedy. So check that out. 246 people watching, 99 likes. Let's hit the like button, kids. Let's get the likes up there. The AP called Arizona for Biden. Yeah, so is Fox News. Fox News called Biden for Arizona yesterday, which is really surprising that they would do that. Didn't get a notification. Of course not. Kate is our moderator. What's up, Kate? Hello, Backyard Politics. Check out her show. Backyard Politics has a fantastic show covering very local stuff, mainly in Oregon and Salem, Oregon. She's done fantastic videos uncovering the fact that the Salem Police Department is protecting with white nationalists. So, right on. Eating popcorn from Canada. Wish you well. Right on. Hello. Silence is violence. Go vegan. Right on. Great way to support the show is to hit the dollar icon button and support the show. Also, I'm on Venmo at Graham-Elwood. If you donate money through Venmo, you can ask a question through Venmo as well. I'll be going through all those after we talk with Jimmy. So, and of course, Ron Placone and I are doing a show November 21st. Oh, what's up? Chain smoking in Detroit. Greetings from Bolivia. Oh, sweet. How's Bolivia? Yeah. Greetings. Okay. So which war enthusiast won? Yeah, we don't know which war enthusiast won yet. We're not sure which... Don't quite know which warmongering rapist with ties to Epstein yet. Hello, Robin, Kate, Lisa, and Randy over on Facebook Live. Thank you for watching on that platform. Hello, Nikki 6 on the Rockfin. Yes. Fukimi Sadvice. like that's absolutely. And okay, I don't know what currency that is, but thank you so much. And if you do that on YouTube, I will put you can see your question will pop up on the chat on the screen like that. And I will answer it. I can't get to, sometimes when a bunch of them come in, we have a lot of viewers, which we will have today. I can't put all of them on the screen like that, but the ones that I can, I will, and we'll talk about it. Blessings from London, UK. Hello. Hello indeed. Boom, boom, boom. Shelby's going to be joining us in a second. So here's Yahoo has now put Joe Biden in the win. Wow. Okay. We want to talk about that. We want to talk about, hold on, I'm just going to get a couple things together. Boom. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Louise Brooks, shave your knuckles for justice. I want it to be decided, but I still feel we lose either way. I hate the DNC. Yes, the DNC is horrible. And as we talked about yesterday with Dave Anthony, we're going to get into it with Jimmy. All these progressive policies passed, all these progressive down ballot politicians won, which completely destroys the whole notion that like, oh, Americans want centrism right now. No, they don't. Absolutely not. They absolutely not. It's unbelievable to me. So unbelievable. Yeah. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, please support the show. Go to patreon.com/Graham Elwood, where you get bonus content for as little as $2 a month. And you get early access. So what I do after each live stream, it immediately goes on Patreon and it goes on Rockfin. And then you can listen to the audio of it early. The audio will later get released later, like 3 or 4 days later, as a podcast on iTunes and Spotify. But you can get it all early if you're Patreon. The audio is $5, the video is $10, and everything's for $10 at Rockfin. So check that out, ladies and gentlemen. All right, let's bring him to the show, ladies. Let's bring him to the show. Yeah, that sounds like a correct sentence. Let's bring him to the show, ladies and gentlemen. Please hit the like button, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 400 and some people watching, 194 likes. Get the likes up there. That always helps the show. All those great ways to support the show. They're unsubscribing us at record numbers. So make sure you're subscribed, even if you've done it a bunch of times before. And it is maddening how they're doing it. Hit the bell notification button. I know you've probably done it numerous times, but every time we go live in the chat, we always see people go, I didn't get a notification. So that's also why I would say follow me on Twitter at Graham Elwood is where I announce every time I'm going live. So that's a great way to support the show. Let's bring him on. Host of the Jimmy Dore Show, ladies and gentlemen. My friend, Jimmy Dore. What's up, buddy?
Hi, Graham. How are you? Let me make sure my shirt's on correctly. I want to make sure my collar's up nice.
Get a nice firm collar, Jimmy.
I'm in my back. Oh, thank you, Steph. Okay.
How's everybody over there at Casa de Dore?
Oh, we are Casa de Good. Bueno.
Nice.
We're bueno. Is that good?
That is good. That is good. So as we check the polls again today, there's not much difference. Some people are giving Biden Arizona. Some people are not. But we're still sort of hanging in the balance of what they're going to determine. We've got some Trump people showing up in Arizona at some of the places where they're counting ballots and in Michigan and stuff like that. So since we don't have a winner yet, first of all, how do you see this playing out?
First of all, it's hard to see anything when my eyes are reeling from that scintillating gray backdrop that you've managed to come up with for your show. That is fed. I mean, just the richness of that gray. Oh, my eyes are drawn to it. I don't know how. Like, were you thinking I have to get a place that has a gray wall? I cannot get a place that doesn't have a gray wall. Did you have that made special? Their gray wall.
I had that made special. The gray wall. Yeah, I had to move. And I have not. I'm in the process of getting another TV set up because I couldn't take my TV with me. So I will improve this background. But thank you for busting balls. I did.
Graham, no, you're welcome. If the one thing I know, it's gray backgrounds make for good television. I
know. You got the pretty blue. Come on. I didn't have a garage. Get the fuck out of here. Like, the fuck? Got a 1-bedroom apartment. There was riots in my town. I had to get the hell out of there. There was looting blocks from me. I'm not some asshole that like, oh, I'm just gonna move for no good reason because I'm stupid. Like, come on. If you had looting, like you're watching it on the news, them coming up your street, and then the military was occupying your town for a week, you might have rethought where you were living.
I know. Joe Rogan moved. He's out. He left just like you. He's also a fucking coward, just like you.
Yeah. I want you to say that to Rogan when you're on his show next. I want to see how that shakes out when you're in his $100 million studio compound somewhere in Texas, surrounded by armed guards. I want you to say that.
I just saw online. There's a video of his house that he bought. Oh, it's nice. It's on it's on that lake. It's on Lake Austin. Have you ever been on Lake Austin? I have.
Austin, it's very nice.
Yeah. Anyway,
a local DJ took us on a boat when I was doing shows there with Doug Benson. Some DJ took us on a boat in Lake Austin, and I did not wakeboarding, but whatever they call it, where you get on a surfboard, but you ride the wake behind. Yeah. Oh God, was that fun? That was awesome. So yeah, I love Austin.
Is my video okay? Am I in sync? Because you're a little out of sync for me, and it might be because I'm on the wrong internet.
No, everything's good on my end. I mean, it looks like you need to trim the hedges behind you. Like you haven't paid enough attention to your nice backyard. Since we're getting into backdrops, I think we should talk about that. You're just going to let your bougainvillea just run wild. Like you live in the jungle, Jimmy.
Look at that. I got a peach shirt and I got my peach wall. See how I try to match? I put thought into shit, Graham. I knew I was going to be broadcasting today with my friend Graham. And so I'm like, okay, I got a peach background, little pop of lime green. And then I got this peach. This is linen, by the way. So after you hit 100,000 subscribers, you should get some linen.
I'll get linen. Well, I want mine to look gray and dark like the collapse that the American empire is.
Graham, you know what's happening is I'm getting this. I don't know if you know it. I'm getting this thing here. Like I want to, another sign of age. See this thing here? Oh, that's why you got to put the camera up. Woo, that looks better, huh? But if you do it down here, you're like, oh, fuck. And so either I got to start wearing a scarf or I got to get some work done. I think I'm going to get some work done.
I think you should get an ascot. I think you should start wearing an ascot with your linen shirts. I think that's what you should start doing.
You know what? I did order one of those, but I thought it was going to be a cot for my ass. And it turns out it's like a scarf. I thought it was because my ass is tired. I was like, my ass could use a cot. You know what I mean?
Why don't you use it for both? You know what I mean? So lessen your carbon footprint. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah. Use the ascot as like a hammock.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? It's an
Just for
ascot. Yeah, it's a 2-in-1. It's like bringing your canvas bags to the grocery store. You know what I mean? You're saving. You're not using the plastic bags. You know?
and then you give your family Legionnaires because the fucking got on the bag that you didn't wash.
You gave your family Legionnaire's disease. Where has that happened? Who's getting some old? What do they get? Gout? What other ancient diseases are they getting?
No, I read a story one time about where I don't know if it was Legionnaires, but it was something like that. Kids on that were a member of this soccer team. These girls got it, and they traced it back to the reusable grocery bag that the mother who drove them to soccer practice used. It had something on the bag, and everybody got it. Yeah, I remember this is a story. I don't know if it was Legionnaires, but it was something like that. I'm just telling you, those fucking, by the way, when you recycle, you know where that recycling goes? It goes right in a fucking landfill. So sorting it out is a waste of time. China stopped taking our recyclables. They've just been putting it in landfills ever since.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's now this isn't my show, so I can give disinformation on yours. I'm pretty sure that's correct.
Well, I think it's great. I mean, I'm really excited the way capitalism has gone, and I think COVID has shown how great capitalism is, and it's just fantastic. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And
the thing is about Joe Biden is that Joe Biden doesn't even have a plan for COVID. Like, if Joe Biden had a plan for COVID, I'd be like, maybe I could vote for him. He was like, okay, we're going to get everybody a UBI. Obviously, you have to do that. No one else is going to get laid off. We're going to start paying people just like they did in
Jimmy, you're freezing up. You're freezing up, buddy. I think you're on the wrong Wi-Fi.
Oh,
yeah, you keep cutting it. Use the good Wi-Fi. Don't use the dime store Wi-Fi for my show. Use the Wi-Fi you use on your show. Well, Jimmy gets his Wi-Fi sorted out.
Maybe I'm back.
There it is. Oh, we lost him. While we're waiting on Jimmy to come back, we'll do Sage and Fool, Shave Your Knuckles for Justice. Zero Hedges, an article. Why does Biden have so many more votes than Democrat Sanders in swing states? Maybe you should check into it. Blocked. That's funny. All right, let's bring Jimmy back on the show.
I'm back, Graham.
All right. So did the linen shirts interfere with the Wi-Fi, or what happened?
I got CIA.
Well, that I wouldn't be surprised about. You start notice there was no Wi-Fi problem when you and I were just joking around. But when we start talking facts, then all of a sudden the Wi-Fi suddenly there's a problem.
Oh, it's iffy. The Wi-Fi gets very iffy. Can I tell you the thing I'll never get over is that there's a guy. I think his name was Gary Webb, the guy who broke the CIA was selling cocaine in Los Angeles story, and he actually ended up committing suicide. You know how he committed suicide, Graham?
Yeah, he shot himself in the head twice. That happens all the time, Jimmy. I was so distraught. I got off 2 rounds. I was so depressed. I got off 2 rounds. Yeah, that's exactly. That's you and I've talked about this. That's like mob. That's a mob signal. That's like it's real shame. He fell down that flight of stairs. He lives in a ranch house. He has no stairs. Yeah, I know. Pretty steep over there.
That first step is the worst one I heard.
Yeah, that's what I heard. Guy fell down a step. Guy who wouldn't pay right fell down a step.
You get bad karma if you don't pay. If you don't pay the vig.
Yeah, then the stairs get higher.
Joe Biden had no plan. Still has no plan. When Joe Biden gets sworn in, what is his first 30 days? Nothing. I'm gonna guess he's gonna usher in some kind of a deregulation of something, and then try to ramp up some more fucking military spending. Try to maybe go finish the job in Syria that Obama couldn't do, and do some bullshit definitely with fucking Bolivia and Venezuela. I mean, what is he? He's going to do nothing but evil.
I mean, look, for starters, like, get ready for a ground war with Iran. Like, get ready for that. Like, that'll absolutely. Joe Biden, they've been licking their chops for that. I mean, they did a bunch of false flags during Trump, and Trump, who I don't like at all, but even Trump didn't take the false flag baits when they had all those. The Suez Canal, the false flag highway, when it's like that ship, the Iran shot at that ship. No, they didn't. When like, Oh, Iran shot down a drone. You mean the one that was over Iranian airspace that shouldn't have been there? That one? Like, they kept trying to get, the deep state kept trying to get us into a war. And it's one of the few things I'll give Trump credit for. He didn't do that, even though I'm sure Pompeo and Bolton wanted him to. But Biden, we're going to be in a war with Iran, might send troops to Venezuela, finally get at those oil reserves that we've wanted for a long time. And then what he'll do is he'll like repeal a couple of Trump's deregulations. Like, he'll put the regulation back in place, and that'll carry the news cycle for 2 days. And all the dumb liberals will go, yay, we see, this is why we the big win. And it's like, nothing went forward. He just kind of undid some awful shit Trump did. That's it. That's the most we'll get. And any real thing they'll try to pass. The best thing that could have happened is that the Republicans can gain control of the Senate, because now they can play that, oh, those obstructionist Republicans won't give you health care. They can play all that shit now.
Yeah, you mean so the Democrats, that's already their strategy. We can't get any. But, Joe Biden's whole thing was, well, I can work with Republicans. I can get things done. I can work with them. Yeah, he is going to work with them. He's going to work with them to get some horrible stuff done. And, I don't know if there's going to be a war with Iran, because everybody says, oh, he's going to get us back into the nuclear deal with Iran. And that was, Obama's, big achievement. And it was, I guess, some kind of an achievement. But he's going to start a war somewhere, or he'll ramp it up somewhere. Or, his whole life has been that. He's been for every war in my lifetime. And they did Libya. They did Yemen. Oh, well, fucking what about Yemen? Jesus, that's still, do you think he's going to stop that? Anyway, it's just... and he'll probably, Trump, though, somebody made a joke, was that he's going to leave. Trump is such a failure. He's going to leave office being the first president in 100 years that wasn't able to overthrow a South American country.
It's not that hard, Trump. Come on. Just, it's not that hard. How hard is it?
Come on. You can't even do Haiti. You can't even nothing.
You could even get like Barbados or some just easy one. You know what I mean? Just
nothing.
Just send one boat of Marines to Barbados and just put a flag up. Come on.
Chile's on the brink. Just give him a nudge. Let's do Chile again.
That should be a bumper sticker. Let's do Chile again.
I'm sure you still got the old offices from last time.
Yeah. Why not? I'm sure there's some Pinochet loyalists down there. You could get back in the hopper. And the other thing too that I've noticed, and I know you've noticed this too, is all that rhetoric about now's not the time for revolution, and Bernie, he wasn't popular enough. Like they won't honestly admit to the cheating of this primary and the 2016 primary. But yet again, all of these progressive policies and down ballot people have won. Like the fact that Florida voted in a super majority for $15 an hour
minimum
wage, more people voted for that than voted for Trump or Biden.
That's why, how we're living in a failed state, because our as the Princeton study years ago proved, that we don't live in any semblance of a democracy. We actually, we get to vote, but we actually live in an oligarchy, because your vote doesn't have any correlation to policy implementation or laws being passed. And so it's only the upper 10% of wage earners who have a correlation. So if 10% of the upper 10% of wage earners want something, 10% of the time it gets passed. If 50% of the upper 10% want something, 50% of the time it will get passed. The lower 80% of wage earners, which is the rest of us, has absolutely no correlation to what our desires are in government legislation and what actually happens. Zero. So it is a fact that we live in an oligarchy. We just have the appearance of being in a democracy. So that the democracy's already been taken from you. In fact, the exit polls, I saw this on Fox News, 72% of Americans are for government-run healthcare.
Yes.
And by the way, it's not government run. It's government paid for. Like Medicare isn't government run. You don't go to a government doctor. You go to your fucking doctor and he orders the shit and then the government sends a check. That's how it works. It's not government run, but even with that wording, Fox News poll had 72%. And so, and neither of them would offer that to us, what is that? Why? Because of corruption, because our government has been 100% captured by the corporations they're supposed to be regulating. And that's why we're living in the richest country the world has ever seen. And 80% of our workers live paycheck to paycheck. 80 million people have no insurance or are underinsured, and people go bankrupt all the time. And people are under mountains of debt, and people are under I live in California, and all these motherfuckers telling you to vote blue. I live in California, which is a super majority Democrat state with a governor who is a Democrat. The city of Los Angeles has a Democratic city council with a Democratic mayor, and there are people living under every bridge in this fucking state. And
every single one.
Yes. And so, and even where there aren't bridges. So what I'm saying is this idea that we're going to be able to vote our way out of this by voting for this two-party, which is really a one-party duopoly, is a fool's errand. Talk about who's being petulant children now. Let's keep doing what we've always done, and which has made things worse. Every 4 years, the Democratic Party goes a little bit further right. I don't know if you noticed, Joe Biden is to the right of Hillary Clinton. And he's got a worse record. And I mean, Hillary Clinton was going to give Medicare to people 50 and over. Joe Biden won't even fucking do that. So so now this is why is the Republican Party so batshit crazy? Because the Democrats became right-wing Republicans, and so every time the Democrats move right, the Republicans move right a little bit more. That's why.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's not just a blunder, a mishap or a mistake that they ran a pro-Trump Democrat against Mitch McConnell. They need Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell is great for fundraising. I'm still getting the fundraising emails. I'm like, your bullshit election's over, and you're still at there like, we need to help. You need to help donate. It's all these emergency donation emails to keep the count going and whatever. I've been getting these for months, and it's like that. You look at this ridiculous duopoly. And it's why Nancy Pelosi won. The Republicans need Nancy Pelosi because the Republicans are sold a bill. They sell their audience that it's funny. They're like, Pelosi and Joe Biden are Marxists. I'm like, God damn, I wish they were Marxists. I mean, they're Republicans. So they just need this for the fundraising. But the thing that is again, like you talk about that Fox poll, that's what the people want, what they voted for in Florida. You've got the like little wins here, like the mayor of Baldwin Park is a Green. He just a 26. He just won. They had the same mayor for like 20 years, and he just beat him. Nithya Ramon, who is a progressive activist, got on the LA City Council. It's the first time they've had a new city council member in 17 years. So like you're seeing these wins, which actually always contradict the Democratic Party's. Now's not the time for a revolution, or it's not how you going to pay for it, or whatever their bullshit is. In America, the thing about this pandemic and the CARES Act, the American people went, oh, so the federal government can just write big checks? Well, then why don't they just write a big check? I mean, and people are waking up to the fact that student debt forgiveness, 85% of student debt is federal. The president, by executive order, doesn't need Congress. There's no money to get. You're just signing something, forgiving this money, and it puts trillions of dollars back into the economy. Joe Biden couldn't even run on that. He couldn't even promise people that. He couldn't say, we're in a pandemic. Here's what I'm going to do. You're going to not have to pay college tuition. That student debt's gone. So I'm putting that money back into the economy and spell it out for the American people. They can't even do that. And then it's kind of like you're seeing these down ballot victories. And I'm saying, obviously you're right. It's like we're not going to change this party from within, but they can't cheat all these small elections. And why I say the local election, the local politics are actually more important. The city council in Los Angeles has more power than the mayor. And that's the only way, at least electorally, to get even any kind of anything. And the fact that Florida can vote for $15 an hour minimum wage shows all these other states they can get it. But short of getting, Greens and progressives and Democratic socialists and all the city councils, which I think is a tactic people should really start doing. Just if there's nobody running like that, then you should run. That's what I say to my audience. So what else then? Obviously, Biden, nothing is going to change. And I worry that Trump is an overt fascist, but Biden is going to be just kind of covertly fascist. And when people are protesting because the economic collapse is coming, right? That's coming. There's no way to stop that. There's 30 million foreclosures coming. There's going to be more layoffs. There's a commercial real estate bubble that is, it is collapsing. It's going to be brutal. They haven't passed another stimulus plan. So when that happens under Joe Biden, is that going to wake the vote any blue will do crowd up? Are they then going to finally go, oh, Joe Biden is snatching up people in unmarked vans? Maybe, in port, like, when are they going to wake up? The Trump supporters, some of them are crazy. They're threatening people with guns and all that stuff. When are people going to wake up on both sides that we're in class warfare? It's not a race war. It's not all this other. When is that going to happen?
I don't think it's going to happen, Graham, because in order for people to wake up to that, they need someone to articulate it. They need a bunch of people to do that, and those people need to get in the media, and that's not happening. Right now, even with the media lying to the people over and over about Medicare for all, you turn on CNN, they're going to tell you, Jake Tapper will tell you it costs more than our current system. They'll all scare you that it's socialism, that it's this and it's that. Even with that, 72% of Americans, which means a lot of conservatives, are for Medicare for all. So even with that, but what is it going to take for people? The media it's just completely bought. They can make people think that a Jewish guy is an anti-Semite. At no point after Iraq did the media question what we were doing in Libya. Did the media question what we're doing in Yemen? The media cheered on what we were doing in Syria. They're not still. Even after the Afghanistan papers, they're still trying to paint the problem as somehow Tulsi Gabbard wanting to get us out of war. It's just crazy. After the Afghan papers proved that Joe Biden and Barack Obama were just as big of pieces of shit warmongers as anybody else, and still nothing is it. So I think that the corruption of the media has really fucked us. And, whenever there's a revolution, normally the first thing they do is they take over the radio and TV and newspaper, right? But they already did that, right? So they got that here. And that's why places like your show and my show gets throttled so hard by the Google algorithms, right? And why people who are in the tank for MSNBC don't. They're not throttled, right? So the corporate news on YouTube is not throttled. You know that. I know that. They don't unsubscribe people from MSNBC's channel or people who have MSNBC contract. Those people are not on the same algorithm that you're on.
I know, Jimmy, who viewers of this show have told me they've unsubscribed from MSNBC's YouTube channel, and then YouTube subscribes them back.
Yeah. So because they want, because MSNBC's videos are safe for advertising. So the more views they can get on that kind of news on YouTube, the better for them, because then there's not going to be a story written about how there was advertising on a Nazi's channel. That's what they're afraid of, right? Or there was on some. And so what they first do is they try to discredit independent voices by calling them conspiracy theorists, even though the government and the mainstream news are the biggest conspiracy theorists in the world. Every war is one big fucking bullshit conspiracy theory, and the mainstream news is on board for every goddamn one of them. But what they first do is that, plus Russiagate was nothing but one big evidence-free conspiracy theory to cover up for the goddamn Democratic Party being bought and paid for, and that there really isn't two parties. That's the thing that Russiagate really covered over. It made it appear that there was an opposition to Donald Trump. There was an opposition to Donald Trump personally, but there wasn't an opposition to Donald Trump legislatively. There wasn't an opposition to Donald Trump politically. There was just an opposition to him personally. They let all his judges go by. You saw they let him get his back to the Supreme Court. They didn't lift a finger to try to stop. They didn't. So anyway, I think there's two ways it could go. We're going to have a worker-led rebellion. But again, the unions, I think, are almost worthless in America. They're just co-opted. They're almost part of big business themselves. And so we're going to have a worker-led rebellion, and we're going to have some, the breakup of the social media companies. I don't see any of that happening. In fact, I see censorship is here to stay because it's been cheered on by the authoritarian left. Anybody who pushed Russiagate, whether they knew it or not, was pushing for censorship of themselves. And as I just pointed out on Twitter the other day, Anna Kasparian got censored for her show on Jacobin Mag, and I just pointed out, like, hey, when I was at the Young Turks, I tried to warn everybody there that that if you're pushing for censorship and Russiagate, it's going to come back on you, and even harder. And I was proven right. And I don't know if you saw the Twitter thread, but she still stands by that position, which it's just dumbfounding. Even as the left is being censored themselves by Silicon Valley, they stand by calling for censorship of people they don't like. That's not how it works. You don't get to pick and choose who gets censored and who doesn't. That's when you give that power away to fucking a bureaucrat without due process. Hey, if someone's breaking a free speech law and someone's actually dangerous, then there's laws to take care of that shit. There's an attorney general, there's a district attorney, there's the police force. Do we really have to rely on fucking Mark Zuckerberg to be our police chief, our court, our judge, our enforcer, judge, jury, and it's crazy. And even as it's happening to them, the left is still pro certain parts of the quote unquote left. Well, the truth is, if you're for censorship, you don't know it. You just gave up your fucking card to be on the left. You're not.
No, you're not on the left.
And if you're a McCarthy smearer, you're also not on the left. If you red bait your political enemies, you're also not on the fucking left. If you attack Trump from the right and want him to be more bellicose with our enemies, especially ones with nuclear weapons, you're not on the left.
No. And it's like, and they're totally okay with it. It's literally, it's like Hedges put in his book, Death of the Liberal Class. It's the liberal elites that are the biggest problem. I'm not excusing the awful, scary, some of the racist white nationalist groups. And, Trump won't call them domestic terrorists, but neither will Biden when he becomes president. He won't put them as domestic terrorists because that's bad for business. And they let that happen. It's why, like, this happened. I'm going to share the screen up here. This happened Monday night. The Mueller investigation investigated Julian Assange, WikiLeaks, and Roger Stone for DNC hacks. Previously, secret portions of the Mueller report show the special counsel declined to prosecute due to lack of evidence. They released this Monday night before this massive election, knowing full well that the media is not going to pick this up. I mean, so it's deliberately put in there. And when I share it on this show, or you talk about it on your show, or we share it on our Twitter feeds, there's always some blue check Hollywood liberal that's like, oh, Julian works for Russia, whatever. And they don't realize the Hollywood. I've called some of these Hollywood, like, comedy writer, these blue check people out. I've said, if this was the 50s, you'd be selling out your fellow comedians and writers to goddamn Joe McCarthy.
Just like that, Graham, just like that. They have no problem. Oh, it's my political enemy? Well, I'm going to do the most despicable thing you could possibly do as a Hollywood person politically. I'm going to fucking McCarthy smear my enemies. It's nuts. It shows you the integrity that they have. It's that not much. I mean, this goes almost every fucking every one of my old friends in Hollywood was fucking doing that shit. It's crazy and it's despicable. And what, I don't know how those people can call themselves artists. An artist is supposed to push back against the status quo. An artist isn't supposed to attack politicians from the right, which is what they were doing. When you're attacking Donald Trump over Russia, you're attacking Donald Trump from the right, you fucking morons. And so that's why, Graham, it's very easy for me to do the show I do. It's very easy for me to scoop MSNBC and fucking 99% of YouTube, because they suck, because they repeat fucking CIA talking points, and they don't have the balls to do a counter narrative, because that's going to get you some bad press. And I already, again, like I've said on my show, I'm not one of these people looking to make a career in journalism or get a job in journalism or make friends in journalism. I already got my friends. It's called stand-up comedy. I already got the pat on the back from everybody I ever respected in comedy. They already said, look at the blurbs for my book. All my heroes already said nice things about me. So I'm very safe in that, and I'm not looking to make new friends, which is why I can easily outdo all the other fucking news shows that are in it for real. Like, they've been doing this their whole life. They went to journalism school, which is a fucking joke. Hey, if you want to learn how to be a shitty journalist, go to journalism school.
Yeah, I know. Isn't it insane? I want to talk about this. First of all, everybody, welcome to the Political Vigilante. I'm here with my friend Jimmy Dore. Please hit the like button. And if you're new to the show, please subscribe. YouTube is unsubscribing me at record numbers. So let's stick it to their algorithm. Also, I'm on rockfin.com/Graham Elwood, which is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. And all my videos are up there for free. And they let all of Jimmy's on there. It's a great platform. So we're talking about Hollywood. We've both lost friends of ours who we thought were like lefties like us. And what we discovered was they got into show business. There's nothing wrong with getting into show business. Like, oh, wow, I want to be a big TV movie star and be famous. Okay, fine. We all know that's what we're all chasing, that to some degree or another. But when push came to shove politically and socially, they obviously, like we were talking about, are selling us, would sell us out in a heartbeat. And it seems like they want to be part of the establishment ruling class. We all started, and some of these people, we all started together in our 20s and the 90s, and we were all doing alternative comedy because it was like, no, man, we don't want to sell out to the big corporate things. And we take these corporate TV gigs, but we want to be real artists. And then you see some of them, boy, they get a little money. It doesn't matter what it is, some reality TV shows, whatever bullshit. If they get that big TV money, that 6 and 7 figure money, it's union. If they're getting help. They don't need $15 an hour minimum wage. They don't need free health care because their union pays for it. They're not even pro-union outside of their little whatever writers guild or actors guild or directors guild. They're not even out of it. They don't care about actual labor, and they're part of the problem. And they think they're so rebellious, and that's why they lose their shit when people like you and I outleft them. They can't handle it because they're used to arguing with like Trumpers on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, I was arguing with the executive producer of The Simpsons, Dana Gould, and he was again tweeting out the pictures of the kids in cages saying, oh, you're going to vote. If you don't vote for Biden, this is what you're supporting. You're an asshole. And of course, it had to be pointed out to him that was actually done under Joe Biden. That's a picture from Joe Biden's administration. And so why wouldn't you, if you just spent a tenth of the time trying to pressure Joe Biden to become a better candidate as you did fucking punching left and punching down and holding people with no power accountable and trying to shame people or asking politicians to offer them something, anything for their vote, you're just a fucking rich, out of touch asshole. You're not a good person. You're a virtue signaling piece of shit. I mean, those guys, like, I love to point out Andy Richter. I mean, Andy Richter is one of the biggest virtue signaling cowards I've ever seen on Twitter. He'll never use his platform to call out the causes of Donald Trump, but he'll pretend like he gives a fuck once it's safe. It's safe to fucking call out Donald Trump. Then guys like Andy Richter will do it. But if it took balls to call out Barack Obama for their immigration policy, or Barack Obama for opening the Arctic to drilling twice, or Barack Obama for his drone policy, or Barack Obama for taking us from 2 wars to 7, or Barack Obama for kicking 5.1 million people out of there, they didn't fucking do any of that shit. They're not going to talk about that because that would take actual guts and courage. And they're just a bunch of shallow fucking virtue signaling millionaires.
Yeah. The Trump or the Obama, I'm going to drink some of this water. I'm drinking, this is iced tea, but this is actually what Flint water looks like.
And then he says it's not a stunt. He literally, as he's doing a stunt, Barack Obama says this is not a stunt. And then my friends in comedy tweet out best president in my lifetime, like they're not complete fucking assholes. You chump.
It's so true. Like, if these people spent the same amount of time holding the Democratic Party accountable as they do yelling at us progressives and lefties, maybe the Democratic Party would change. Like, I had somebody call me a couple months into the pandemic and say, Graham, stop what you're doing. And I thought he was joking at first. This is a guy that I consider a friend. I've known him for a long time, and he's a black guy, and he's like, hey man, I'm worried about my kids and the racism. I said, that's obviously true. Yes. And I listened to some of it, like, hey, I don't know what it's like to go jogging as a black man. I don't know what that. He's like, I've had shit thrown at me, and that guy had just been shot when he called me in Georgia or whatever. He was running through that neighborhood, and those two white guys, which is awful. But then I said, yeah, but what about
started? That all this racism just started, Graham.
Yeah, it just started under Trump.
So the antidote to that kind of racism is to vote for the guy who fucking wrote the 94 crime bill, who fucking exploded the prison population, who made it harder for him to get out of bankruptcy when he goes fucking broke or gets sick or is in student debt, or he'll kick him out of his house when he fucking can't pay. That's the antidote to Donald Trump. That Joe Biden is not the antidote to that.
I know. It's like, and I'm like, so you're literally calling to blame the messenger, because everything I'm saying is a fact. I'm not bringing up conspiracies.
That's right.
And I'm like, when Obama, and I told him, I said, I voted for Obama when he dropped more bombs than Bush, 85,000 dead children. Do you want to talk to those parents? And he said, well, that's black disappointment. And I was like, black disappointment?
Black disappointment.
I go, that's American privilege. That you have American, yes. I have white privilege, and I understand it, and I have to own certain things. I was born middle class. My college was paid for. But that, well, you can't win them all. That's American privilege, because you've never had your friends or family murdered from a drone. We've never had bombing in this country. We've never seen it happen. You don't know what it's like. And I'm like, I've been to war zones. I've seen kids on operating tables because they were playing in a minefield or they got hit with an IED. I know what war looks like. And that's just as a comedian. So when people say, that's the thing that drives me nuts, when they just sort of say, well, I mean, Obama wasn't perfect. I'm like, he murdered people, not perfect. I mean, and then they're like, so that means you like Trump? It fucking drives me insane.
So when I would tell people the truth about Russiagate, they would often say to me, yeah, but that Putin, he's a real thug. As opposed to who? As opposed to Barack Obama, who has a drone program that kills 90% civilians? Yeah. 9 out of 10 people he kills with a drone is an innocent civilian. What does that make him? That makes him a fucking war criminal. Barack Obama tortured Chelsea Manning. Barack Obama and Joe Biden prosecuted whistleblowers using the Espionage Act way more than any other president. What the fuck does that make him? That makes them thugs.
Thugs. It's like when people were getting snatched off the streets in Portland by unmarked vans, and everyone's like, look what Trump's America's doing. I go, that was signed. The NDAA was signed by Obama in December of 2011.
Yes. And he also signed Section 1021 of the NDAA. And what did that do? That repealed habeas corpus, ladies and gentlemen. Why is that important? So then Trump can send his goons in and arrest you and never charge you and fucking keep you locked up for the rest of your life. All they have to do is say you're a terrorist. That's all they have to do. And what did they? And they charge people at the Standing Rock with environmental terrorism, so that they'll call anybody. You're an information terrorist. I'm an information terrorist. You're an information terrorist. All they have to do is say you're a terrorist, and they can take all your rights away and lock you up indefinitely. And who did that? Barack Obama. And why is that extra insidious? Talk about your black disappointment. It's because Barack Obama is a constitutional fucking lawyer. He knew exactly what he was doing, and then he handed that power to Trump.
Yeah. Handed it to him. He handed Trump a dictator's playbook, basically, and no one wants to own it. And I just like, and then they're like, oh, you guys want pie in the sky and this and that. And I hate to be generational, but it's really baby boomers, and unfortunately, our generation X is pretty stupid neoliberal, pretty like and they're like, yeah, but those Trump supporters are awful and racist. I said, yeah, and the ones that are truly scary, they're like driving their Trump cars, trying to run people off the road and threatening with guns or whatever. Yeah, that's scary. But I'm sorry, you don't even want to look at what caused that. They've been abandoned. Let me also make the case, Graham, about when a guy calls you up and he says, hey, I'm black and I'm afraid of the racism, so Trump's got to go. I predicted in 2016 when Trump won the presidency that he would deport less Mexicans than Joe Biden and Barack Obama. And that has come true in spades, that they aren't even going to come close to deporting as many Hispanics as Barack Obama and Joe Biden did. So this idea
that somehow everything Trump is worse than Barack Obama. People have no idea how bad Barack Obama actually was.
No, they refuse to acknowledge it. And what bothers me is, I'm sorry, you're a college educated liberal. You should know better. You're supposed to be all Mr. Critical Thinking, Mr. Open Minded. You say, oh, the Trump voters vote against their own interest. Yeah, they do. The right wing.
Everybody does.
Everyone does. The whole left does. The left identity politics gets people to vote against their own interests in a heartbeat. If I showed you a white male that put 120,000 black men behind bars as the attorney general of the state of California, you would never be excited about him as your vice president. Never. Right. And that's why they showed, like, MSNBC interviewed those 3 black women a week before the election in Atlanta who were like, nah, we're not voting for Biden. We're not down with Kamala Harris. And they were like, whoa, you're not the soundbite we wanted. Wait, hold on. And they won't wake up to this fact. And the fact that Biden is barely winning here. Even if he does win, it's barely.
He's going to win by a hair sniff.
And it's no sweeping mandate. And gee, when Fox News viewers want Medicare for all overwhelmingly, when like everybody wants UBI, everyone's okay with it. I mean, that was the thing. They realized, oh, we can have all these things we want.
Yes.
So, and gee, if you ran, Bernie was clearly cheated again. They purged votes again. The shadow app in Iowa. Like, I was on crosstalk with this guy who was like, oh, Joe Biden won fair and square. And he said, oh, you shadowy conspiracies. And I was like, no, the shadow app was an app used to count votes in Iowa caucus. Pete Buttigieg funded it, helped fund it. Come on. They just.
Graham, I just want to just give a shout out to Michael Dolan. Michael Dolan, who caught the joke that Graham let go right past him. The joke was that Joe Biden is going to win by a hair sniff. Shout out to Michael Dolan. Michael Dolan, he got that, and he said it in your chat. So I just want to give a shout out to Michael Dolan. That's a good catch. You have a great comedy calibrator there. Good going.
Thanks, Michael. Yeah, I was all wound up into a rant, so I missed that joke. But that's a good that he wound up by a hair sniff.
Come on.
That's the other thing too. Both of these guys have strong ties to Jeffrey Epstein. Not discussed. No one's going to. The corporate media is going to talk about that. Why? No. Because the billionaires that are involved in this global sex trafficking ring own these big corporations.
That's right. And the CIA, which has infiltrated all the newsrooms, they didn't even infiltrated them. They're on fucking camera.
Yes.
They hire them to be on their on-camera analysis. No, you're supposed to bring someone on to analyze the lies from the CIA. You're not supposed to bring on the liars from the CIA to give you analysis, you fuck. You're bringing on people to give you propaganda. Of course, they know that because they're owned by a handful of billionaires. There's just a handful of billionaires who own all our media in this country. And that's exactly, and if Noam Chomsky's taught us anything, is that the Chris Hayes, Rachel Maddow, Jake Tapper, and Chris Cuomo are there to manufacture consent for the establishment. They're not there to actually inform us and tell us what's actually going on, or else we'd have we'd have Medicare for all, we'd have a UBI, we wouldn't be living under bridges, and we wouldn't be in 7 fucking wars.
Yeah, and we wouldn't be lining up for food
lines in the richest country in the world. Hey, let me just remind people that in a similar economic downturn, Joe Biden and Barack Obama kicked 5.1 million families out of their homes in a similar economic climate to this. So it's coming. And Joe Biden's going to be president. I bet he does the exact same fucking thing this time.
This time it'll be worse because thanks to the CARES Act, it won't just be homes. It's going to include small businesses.
Right.
Like they're kicking, like in this SBA loan. They sent me this thing. You're pre-approved for an SBA loan. And I read the fine print. Anything over $25,000, your business is collateral and they will collect on it if you don't pay. And I was like, oh, that's how they're going to get it. So I said, let's lower the amount to under 25 grand. And I took the loan. So fuck them. Because they can't do it. And I said, this is what they're going to do. All these people are going to default on these loans. Not to mention, they gave $4.25 trillion hidden in the CARES Act, things that people like AOC voted for verbally. And she pretends like she's fighting for us, even though she's not bothered by the fact that Joe Biden wants to frack. She said that on CNN, not bothered by it. So she's a sellout. We have no progressive leadership. Bernie sold out. Tulsi sold out. AOC sold out. They're going to pass some. They're fighting for some things here and there. Tulsi's got this new thing to try to pardon Julian Assange and Edward Snowden. Okay, Bernie is really good at tweeting. Man, that's going to help get things paid for. And AOC calls Pelosi Mama Bear. But like it's back to the CARES Act though. So they have this $4.25 trillion and these big companies are sitting on it, waiting. They're going to snatch up all the commercial real estate. They're going to snatch up all the foreclosures and do what they did in 2008. These management companies bought, especially in California, they did this. One of the reasons the rents were so high, this is pre-COVID, they're starting to come down because everybody's leaving. But one of the reasons the rents are so high in California, the management companies bought up all these short sales and foreclosed homes and then started renting them. So they helped drive the rents up, which is why these big management companies were...
And Barack Obama bailed out those companies on his way out the door. I don't know if you know that. So there was these companies, equity firms that had done exactly what Graham's saying. They bought up all these properties and they're going to run these huge rental properties, which is hard to do. And so they were going, they're going underwater. And Barack Obama gave him like a couple of $1 billion on his way out the fucking door. And so what does that do? That doesn't just help his friends on Wall Street and the equity firm. What that actually does is that creates a barrier for first-time home buyers because it keeps fucking prices artificially high and it keeps rents artificially high. So it's fucking renters and it's fucking first-time home buyers. And that's what Barack Obama's final gift to the middle class was as he left office.
Which now sets up this house of cards with a pandemic and an economic shutdown and no real UBI. Some people got unemployment, some people didn't. If they did, was it enough? Whatever. Now, thanks to Obama and what you're talking about, that set up now this house of cards of the 30 million pending foreclosures that are happening. But at least the Secretary of State is Steve Mnuchin, who could have been prosecuted by Kamala Harris when he was in charge of One West Bank. But of course, he donated to her 2010 Attorney General campaign. So then when Kamala Harris had enough evidence to prosecute him and send him to jail the way Iceland did to their corrupt bankers, she passed on it. And then another wacky coincidence, he donates to her senatorial campaign. So then when she becomes senator, was she the one who helped approve him as Secretary of Treasurer? Yes, she did. She did vote for it. Go to cabinetvotes.org. So Kamala Harris is part of this lineage of the corruption of the Democrats and the Republicans. I've always said Democratic Party is just Goldman Sachs with a rainbow flag. That's what it is. And nothing is going to change when this economic collapse, and I'm watching financial experts saying this is going to be worse. And it's not just like socialists like Richard Wolff, who I like and respect, but it's like Wall Street capitalist guys are saying, oh man, it is coming. This collapse is coming. And it's all going to be because did Obama put anyone in jail? Did he pass all this sweeping regulation? Nope. Dodd-Frank, which is like a Band-Aid and a shotgun wound. So how do you see all this playing out?
Graham, first of all, I just realized that you got one of those loans from the CARES Act,
mm-hmm.
and did you put some of that into that sweet gray paint that you did for that wall behind you? Is that what that was?
No, I just got it. Some of it's going to go for my new TV. You fucking linen wearing Jagoff. So that's going to fucking Graham, what's gotta happen. But I predict that I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but it doesn't seem like it will. I'm going to try and make it happen as much as I can. I'm working on a third party with Nick Brana, but there has to be a consolidated left that starts from the workers, because if there's anything that the COVID pandemic taught us is that the real essential workers aren't hedge fund managers. They're not on Wall Street. They're not at the top of any board. They're healthcare workers. They're Amazon workers. They're grocery store workers. They're UPS drivers. They're FedEx drivers. These are the essential workers in the United. They're teachers. Right now, capitalism can't run without fucking teachers, can it? We need people to watch our kids all day so those people can go to fucking work and make capitalism run. So that's what's got to happen. And you see how they settle those teacher strikes really fast. That's not an accident. They know that in red states, those teachers got what they wanted.
They settled those fast because strikes are catchy. So hopefully that's what we can somehow get the political class to work with the unions and the worker class, and we can bring the country to its knees. I mean, if Ralph's workers in California stopped working for a day, they'd shut this fucking state down.
Shut it down.
shut it down. I mean, it's nuts what the ability what they have to do. So I think that's what's got to happen, and we got to realize and we have to realize that people like Bernie Sanders are they can be an ally, but they're certainly not going to be our leader. He's just a lip service guy who doesn't have any backbone. He voted for the largest upward transfer of wealth in the middle of a fucking pandemic, and he got us nothing and he threw his entire movement on behind a guy who's the problem. He's telling us right now that Joe Biden is going to lead to a worse Trump as he's telling you to fucking vote for that guy. I mean, Bernie Sanders is such a schizophrenic fucking tool of the establishment. It's jaw dropping. It is jaw dropping. The fucking fall that guy. He wanted to end his career by this way. This is how complete capitulation to the machine, complete ass fucking of your own movement, it's just amazing. He had his moment and he missed it on purpose because he doesn't have the nads.
It was history, the universe conspired to put Bernie Sanders in the perfect moment at the perfect time. That March 15th debate, I will never forget that debate. Things had just got shut down. Ron and I just canceled a tour in Florida.
Yeah.
We were on your show Friday the 13th, and we all looked at each other and said, this might be the last time we're together for a while. We all knew, it's coming. I did the debate on the 15th. I did it at the All Things Comedy Studio. Kim Iverson Skyped in because she was feeling worried about, and this was Bernie's moment. It was his moment to go, I'm the guy to defeat Trump. COVID is here. It's real. I'm going to give you Medicare for all. I'm going to give you UBI. Trump's going to mishandle this, which he could now be saying, see, this is why you got to vote for me. And this would be a landslide. We wouldn't even be having this conversation. He should have said, he should have distanced himself from Joe Biden and said, this is why you got to vote for me. Joe Biden is just going to be the same as Trump. Not just I'm the guy. This is this moment. It was his moment. History put him in place. Like, I've read a lot of autobiographies and biographies about prominent people. Like Winston Churchill was waiting his whole life for this moment to be the leader of England. And it was like the Nazis were the moment. He went and he stood up and said, this is my moment. I'm leading us out of this. And everyone went, yes. And he was waiting for it his whole life. Bernie was like, I hope I never get this moment. I'll talk about it. But if I'm put in this position, I'm not going to do it. And he kept saying, my friend Joe Biden, he didn't slam dunk on Joe Biden. He got a couple of wins. And me and Ron and Kim Iverson sat there and went, oh man, this wasn't the debate he was supposed to have. And then in the middle of it, Kim Iverson looks at her phone and says, oh, Garcetti shut down all of America, or all of Los Angeles. And that was it. That was it. A couple days later, Bernie quit. Tulsi quit. And we have no progressive leadership. So yes, we need, and we were both at that Movement for a People's Party convention. I don't know why they're waiting until next. I don't know why they didn't start this now, but that's what we need. And it does need to be focused on labor, because labor unifies people. That's the thing. That's why they did such a fantastic job. The oligarchs at eviscerating unions over the last four or 5 decades is because unions, you had people working in unions that are of different ethnicities, different backgrounds, and they all came together into the union. And labor is what would unite people. Labor is actually what would get these conservatives, some of them working class white people, and Black Lives Matter to come together and say, actually, they're the ones that are screwing us over. That it's the billionaires that took your job, not an immigrant. The billionaires took your job. And so it will take labor. And I'm worried that I want to see the unions, they capitulate, like you say. The AFL-CIO said, if he loses and won't quit, we're going to form a general strike. And I'm like, well, that's great. Why don't you guys do a general strike no matter what?
No matter what.
Why don't you do it to demand Medicare for all? Why don't you do it?
What are you fucking waiting for?
Like, they're just waiting for Trump to suddenly be like, stay in the White House with a gun and say, I'm not, that's what it's going to take. Like, the 30 to 50,000 people a year that die because they don't have health care, that's not enough. Like, so I want to see it. We need an opposition party. There is no opposition party. I watched the debates. I watched the conventions, and it was the debates. This was basically a Republican primary is what it felt like. So is it possible for the People's Party or some third party to have any real traction without some big defection, like an AOC, a Bernie, a Tulsi? Can it do it without some big defection like that?
I think it can, if it has people like, Cornel West and Jesse Ventura and people like that, Nina Turner, if those kind of people decide to do it. But yeah, definitely big defection would help. I mean, even a little defection would help. Yeah, what if you need somebody who's an elected Democrat to jump ship? That would be a big deal. In this situation, you would think it would be Bernie Sanders normally, but of course, it's been revealed that's not his role at all. His role is to actually do the opposite, to stop the formation of a third party. That's what Bernie's job is to do. And then they come together and fuck him over. And then he again asks you to fuck his wife while he watches.
Yeah, it's
there was a joke Ron wrote for me. Bernie Sanders, there was a headline in Politico that he was angling for the Secretary of Labor job in the Biden administration. And Ron's joke was, yeah, but if he doesn't get it, he'll settle for go fuck yourself.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Biden, I mean, a third party is going to, goddamn Ron Placone writes good jokes, is the only way for a third party to really happen. And it's funny, Hedges and Cornel West said it in 2016 that Bernie actually missed his moment. He had a shot in 2016 to start it. Had he just done what Jill Stein offered him, and she was like, you run as president, I'll be your VP.
Yeah.
Had he done that, who knows what could have happened. And then Jesse Ventura, there was a draft Jesse movement this summer. He didn't find out about till later. He's sort of, I mean, if he would have run and seriously run as a third party candidate, I think a lot of those libertarians would vote for him. I think a lot of those 100 million people that don't vote would vote for him. So we got to have a third party, and there has to be some type of labor general strike in there. There has to be, like, if every McDonald's worker said, nope, we're done across the country, every Walmart worker, if they all just said, nope, we're shutting it down, it would happen overnight. It would happen in a matter of days. But yeah, I don't know. I hope the country doesn't just collapse. So
I think it's going to slide into, well, we really are almost, Graham, kind of like Brazil. And Dylan Radigan made this point on my show. He said that we're already there, Jimmy. We just don't notice because we have a few things camouflaging it, like Wall Street, Silicon Valley, and Hollywood. And that kind of covers over the fact that, most people are living paycheck to paycheck. Most people can't afford their health care when they get sick. Most people, if they get sick, they go into debt. Kids don't, there's no fucking jobs out there. Everyone's on their mountains of students. So we're just a debtor nation. We've taken the richest country the face of the earth has ever seen. We've rendered 80% of their workers fucking living paycheck to pay. I mean, it's just a crazy system. And, Bernie Sanders, again, wants to play along with those people who set this system up. And it's just obvious now he's not the guy, and he doesn't have the nads to get it done. Nowhere near. He fucking red baited himself, for Christ's sake. He knew what was happening. He knew Russia wasn't boasting him, but he went along with it anyway. What a feckless, weak motherfucker, man. Jesus Christ. I mean, you got to have balls. You got to be willing to take a bullet from the CIA if you want to be the strongest, most powerful man in the world. And he wasn't willing to he wasn't willing to offend. He wasn't willing to offend Joe Biden, let alone fucking call him out for the cause of Trump. Joe Biden's the cause of Trump. And instead of saying Joe Biden's my good friend, he should have said Joe Biden, the cause of Trump. If he would have said that every time he introduced himself, hey, Joe Biden, the cause of Trump. If Joe Biden, the cause of Trump, my good friend Joe Biden, the cause of Trump, maybe people would have put it together why we got Trump. But he never did the critique. Why, Graham? Because that was hard. Because it was hard to let people know that Barack Obama wasn't Santa Claus. He was actually a fucking asshole who raped them and kicked 5.1 million families out of their house when they needed him the most. He was unwilling to make that critique. Why? Because it was hard. It's hard to do that. And he wanted to suck up to the Democrats instead of fucking wake them up. And he lost because they conspired against him once again. And one of the big reasons why he lost was not only because they conspired against him, was because he sounded just like every other fucking Democrat. When he goes to a debate, says Joe Biden's a good guy, everybody up here is a good guy, better than no, everybody up here is corrupt and bought. Except for Tulsi Gabbard. She's the only one who doesn't take their fucking money besides me. Everybody else is fucking bought. Elizabeth Warren's got a super PAC, and that's it. He didn't do that. Why wouldn't he do that? Because he doesn't have the fucking nads to do that. He's a guy who cares about himself and his position. He's got a fucking huge ego. He's in politics, for fuck's sake. And why wouldn't he stand up for people like me? Why wouldn't he stand up for people like you? Instead, he fucking kicked those people out. His own delegates he kicked out for corporatists that they were. I mean, Fiorella talked about this on the Convo Couch, how he fucked over his. I mean, the grassroots. You talked to his grassroots organizers in 2016. They all say it was a bullshit corporatist campaign he ran this time and didn't want anything to do with the grassroots. So Bernie Sanders fucking failed up and down at every turn in this campaign. Not only did he fuck over his own supporters, he fucked himself by Russiagating and red baiting, which is McCarthy smearing. And when he would say Donald Trump is the most corrupt president in the history of our country, that's just patently not fucking true. Joe Biden is more corrupt than Donald Trump is. That's just a fact.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you say that, oh, you like Trump? No, they're all. It's like they refuse to. It's like, well, the heroin dealer isn't as bad as the crack dealer. Oh,
right, I know.
Like,
but the thing is, Joe Biden's been dealing heroin for fucking 47 years, and Trump's only been dealing it for 4, and that's why he's got a big, much bigger death count. He's actually prosecuted more whistleblowers. He's done everything bad. That more. And so I'm not saying Trump would have done any better. I'm just saying that is not the antidote. And so going forward, we're going to need a real left. I'm trying to do it with the party. I have had Chris Smalls on my show, the Amazon worker. He's also trying to do it. So I don't know. We need a Martin Luther King. You know, we need our Bobby Kennedy. We need somebody like that. We need Malcolm X. We need somebody to be a leader and stand. We need our Lech Walesa. So I don't know if people remember Lech Walesa was a union leader in Poland, and so we need someone like that, and we don't have it. I thought it was Bernie Sanders, and of course it's not. It wasn't him. So even in Greece, they thought they had it, and that party that was polling at 4% took over Greece's politics, and they fucking sold out to the bankers. Of course, they were giving a Faustian bargain. They didn't really, it was like, hey, we're going to fucking kill your country or you take this bar. And so they buckled, and they did it. And so neoliberal bankers run the goddamn earth right now. The economy is run by the military-industrial complex at Wall Street, right? Right now, that's what's running the world, and that's why the world's in the situation it's in. And I heard somebody say, I think it was Michael Parente, they keep saying, poor countries. There is no such thing as a poor country. Why is it, if it's a poor country, why do we send our military there so we could steal their natural resources? It's because they're not a poor country.
Yeah.
Bolivia's not a poor country. They got lithium. They're not fucking poor. Venezuela's not a poor country. They got more oil than Saudi Arabia.
No, yeah, of course. And then we just sanction them. Like it's
right.
It's preposterous. Well, Jimmy, I really appreciate you taking time to be on the show today, man. And
thanks for having me, Graham. It's been a blast, and I look forward to you getting a flat screen behind you so you look like a regular show again.
I know it's been a crazy some stuff's happened, but I will have a screen behind me within days.
Respect your show.
I am respecting my show. I will respect my show. It's always nice to have Jimmy on the show. Thanks, buddy. And I'm sure most of you are Jimmy Dore show watchers. If not, go check out his show. And hopefully someday we'll be back on the road. God damn, I missed that.
Oh, hey, I'm doing a show. Dave at Flappers, he's doing shows there's a drive-in theater in Burbank, and they're starting to do shows this weekend. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, huh? What do you think of that?
Check that out. Well, Ron and I are doing a stand-up show November 21st on Zoom. You're more than welcome to pop in and do time with us. If you want to buy tickets, it's at Graham-Elwood on Venmo. The tickets are $10. We'll send you a Zoom link. So say hi to Steph. Say hi to Brownie.
Okay, Graham.
And we'll talk soon.
Say hi to your surfboard.
My surfboard is so happy.
All right, bye, buddy.
All right, later. That was Jimmy Dore, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, 1,500 people watching. That was awesome. 910 likes. Let's get the likes up to 1,000, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get the likes up there. And please hit the subscribe button if you're new to my show or you've known about me, but hit the subscribe button because I know we have a lot of Jimmy Dore viewers watching right now who know me and know what I do, but just subscribe to my channel and watch what I do. I'm putting up 2 to 3 videos a day. I go live 4 or 5 days a week. I am going to get a new TV behind me. I had one before. I had a nice setup before. Some stuff happened. I had to move. Maybe even watching some journalists get snatched up near me. So, had to go to an undisclosed location, but we're getting that figured out, and I will have a screen behind me. But check out what we do, and I'm also at rockfin.com/Graham Elwood. So please hit the like button, and then let's read some super chats. Sage and Fool. Sage and Fool. Zero Hedges an article. Why does Biden have so many more votes than Democrat senators in swing states? Maybe you should check into it. Blocked. Oh, wow. I think we read that already. Yeah, that is a peculiar situation. Hit the like button. Louise Brooks, boom. I voted Brownie/Lucy. Felt like the best choice. That's awesome. Hazy Wave, boom. Shave your knuckles for justice. Hazy Wave. It looks like you're shooting a hostage video. Yes, I am. Please save me. Mark Peterson, shave your knuckles for justice. Jimmy needs to sell fedoras on his site. If Biden wins, we can get back to destroying other countries. Yes. Kit's Corner, hello, shave your knuckles for justice. Inside Edition just revealed YouTube statement blocking content involving election results for fraudsters, censorship, adpocalypse. Yep, we're being censored in real time. If I talk about H. Biden's laptop, they'll pull it. If I was doing a segment, like a 5-10 minute segment on that, the stream would get shut down. Mega Airbach, Jagoffs, boom. Sam Dean, what's up? Good day, guys. So Trump files a third lawsuit in Georgia to stop the count. Is there any legal precedent for this at all? Please discuss. Cheers, mate. Yeah, there was some threat of lawsuits in 2000 when this happened, but yeah, we all knew Trump was, if it wasn't overwhelming for Biden, Trump's going to send lawsuits, and that's what he does. He's a crybaby Wall Street guy that just goes to court every time he doesn't get his way. So he's a maggot. Gavin McClay, what about Joe Jurgensen? Do libertarians vote hurt Trump? Will people stop saying third-party votes always hurt Democrats? Keep up the good work, you two. Oh, it's so preposterous, too. Like in 2016, 7 million people voted for the Libertarian and 1 million voted for Jill Stein. So way more people, took votes from Trump. It's just this take vote thing. It's so dumb. Let's get the likes over 1,100. Teresa 78201. Boom. Florida wage $15 an hour in 2026, not sooner. Well, at least you're getting it. Gray Water joined third party. Boom. Look at the history of the Populist Party. There are many parallels and much to learn from their mistakes. Good to know. Severino Toauli, shave your knuckles for justice. Prop 21 is going to fail, and those companies are going to be scooping up all those lost homes for them to rent them right back to us. Ha ha, failed state. Absolutely true. That's horrifying. Jillian Morrison, boom, shave your knuckles for justice. Bernie had no right taking working people's money on promise of revolution he didn't have the courage to lead. Was my hero, now he's just pathetic. I agree, man. He owes me money. Him and Tulsi owe me money. They owe me money. Money. They owe me money. Send it to me right now. Send me $1,000 and I'll buy a new TV. Samantha Therese. What's up, Samantha? Why not go with Unity 2020 together with People's Party? Brett Weinstein is on the same page. Ad had Jersey on. Okay. Yeah, it'll take a coalition for sure. Donald Smead, boom, right on. Thank you for that. Boom, 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 boom. Thank you to everybody over at the Rockfin. Chris Kruger, what's up? I think this is the same Chris Kruger that I interviewed, a Green Party candidate running in Illinois' 17th district. State representatives, 17th district, my hometown, Evanston, Illinois, doing the Lord's work. Important thing is don't let up. We respect all of our brothers and sisters on the left. MP, Movement for People's Party, DSA, SA, Sawant, Green, and activist Dems. We will stand up and fight back, keep the faith, love, and peace. Absolutely. That's what it's going to take. Like a Movement for People's Party, like, great. Have them work with the DSA, have them work with the Greens, get together on it. I mean, that's the thing that's beautiful about that. So it's great. AD, boom, shave your knuckles for justice. I'm not a Trumper, but the oligarchs selecting Biden are stealing this selection right now. Come on, Graham. Yeah, the oligarchs are stealing both of them. I mean, it's like, oh. Substance, Graham. Enough giggles. I don't know what that means. Graham, your cartel connection's looking for you. I don't know what that means, but I would rather vote for Rent Guy than Biden. Yeah. Biden is only winning because they kicked Green Party off ballot in Wisconsin and Michigan. Yeah, of course. The kale lobby got word about Graham's shilling for Big Green and put a hit on his smoothie maker. Oh, I haven't had my smoothie yet. Yeah, they kicked the Greens off the ballot. How insane is that? Hello, everybody on the Facebook. Boom. Finger bang off 2020. Nice. Hello, everybody on the Rockfin. Mary Hale. I voted third for the first time in 35 years of voting. They can bite my old bony ass right on. Hello, Independent Left News. Nikki 6 over on the Rockfin. Tulsi could pull libertarians, independents. And yeah, if they need a big defection, I think they need a big defection. Is it me or does it just look like they're holding the count until Biden gets enough votes? Could be. I still feel dirty about voting Hillary in 2016. Never again. Yep. Absolutely. Let's get over 1,100 likes, ladies and gentlemen. Come on. Moving for People Party. I don't think that's true about Moving for a People's Party not wanting to work with the Greens. I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I need to see more evidence about that. Green Hill, boom. Massachusetts Governor Baker did a curfew between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. starting Friday night. No end date. No one cares. Think it's time. No one cares. Thinks it's fine. And that scares me. Scary stuff. Oh, boy. It's like they really are going to try to ramp us into a like mayhem in the streets thing. They really are going to try to do that, man. Where'd my Superman curl go? There it is. There it is. Boom. So is the stream coming to an end or soon, or is it going to be continuing? I'm going to go on for another maybe 15 minutes or so. But if there's more questions in the super chats, I'll keep going. Gina G, what's up, Gina? Thank you so much for supporting the show. In my opinion, neoliberalism and fascism are pretty much the same at this point. Yeah. One enables the other and both benefit from the status quo thoughts. I think it's a very valid point when you, especially what Jimmy and I were talking about, when you have neoliberals totally okay with censorship. They're just letting it happen. It's like it's the neoliberals in Hollywood that gave up, communists to keep their show business jobs in the 50s during the McCarthy House of Un-American Activities Committee witch hunt. Those are neoliberals. The actual lefties were like, huh? What? Like, yeah, it was the neoliberals who gave them up. Some conservatives, but it was a lot of neoliberals, man. I mean, that's what they do. And they have no problem with fascism when it's done by their team member. When Bush was doing fascist stuff with the Patriot Act, they were like, no, this is bad. When Hillary voted for it and Biden voted for it, they're like, well, when Obama got into office and did all that shit, suspended habeas corpus, all that stuff, wrote the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, that gave federal troops authority to round people up without any due process or habeas corpus or any of that stuff, they had no problem with it. They didn't flip out. When Edward Snowden came forward, they didn't flip out. When Obama jailed Chelsea Manning, they were okay with it because Obama did it. So they were okay with Obama being a fascist, but not when Trump's doing it. They think it just started under Trump. It's insane to me. You're kind of correct, Gina. There's not a lot of evidence to refute what you're saying. I mean, right? Samantha Therese. Thank you, Samantha, for supporting the show. If you get the coalition going with anyone, it will be people like you, Jimmy, Brett Weinstein, and others who have these huge audiences coming together. Touch base with them and form the coalition. Yeah, I mean, it's why, look, they've reached out. That's why I was asked to speak at the Movement for a People's Party convention. And I mean, Jimmy obviously has 10 times the audience I have. I should have a bigger audience, but I'm being throttled on a daily. Jimmy's been doing a show longer, and he has a better studio with a better background. Like, what the fuck? I don't have a separate garage I can just deck out. Yeah, it will take a coalition, and it will take a lot of us indie media people with followings to get together, Lee Camp and everyone. It'll take that. And it'll take, like, bringing in some libertarians, even if we don't necessarily agree on certain policy or how to get things done. Thing I have respect for with the libertarians, they agree the two-party system is bullshit. That's the first thing and so let's agree there. It's why, like, Peter Lavelle, who's he's a conservative. He's a old school, I call him like Reagan Republican conservative. He one of the things Peter Lavelle, he goes, the thing about us conservatives and you progressives, we agree on, and we're all anti-war, and that's where we need to come together. So let's come together on the fact that we're all anti-war. The conservatives, the libertarians, the lefties, the Greens, the socialists, we're all anti-war. Great. So we're together on that front. We're all in favor of maybe pro-labor. We're all a little more pro-labor. Maybe the conservatives and libertarians might not be as union heavy as we are. Okay. Right. But the anti-war is where we can all get together, and pro-labor is where we can all get together. So it's important. You're right. It's the coalition. Nick Thompson, what's up? How you doing? Shave your knuckles for justice. You are making Gotham great again. I'm called the political vigilante because I'm a huge fan of Batman, and I say making Gotham great again. I started saying it several years ago. I think one of you in the chat made the joke. I'm a big Batman fan. It's sort of a mockery of Trump's Make America Great Again, but it also speaks to the fact that in the Batman comic book, Gotham is an utterly corrupt city. It used to be wonderful, right? But it's corrupt. Everyone's corrupt. The cops are corrupt. Only Jim Gordon is honest, and the Batman is honest. Everybody else is corrupt. So it's like, we got to make this the whole system is broken, and we got to fix it. That's what make Gotham great again means, right? It's a nod to Batman. It's a little joke about Trump, and that's what it's talking about. I was editor of a college newspaper. Advisor was Cabrini Green reporter, taught me how journalism is bought and to always keep a critical eye. Now his wife shames me for being critical of Dems. LOL irony. Yep. Cabrini Green, which was a project in Chicago. Thank you, Nick. Yeah, as Backyard Politics says, voting third party means you don't have to hold your nose to vote. You vote with a clean conscience. Yeah. Didn't feel guilty about writing Jesse Ventura in when I voted this past week. I didn't feel guilty 4 years ago voting for Jill Stein. I never feel guilty voting down ballot third party. And I'll always vote. I've always done that. If it's just like a Republican, a Democrat, and a Libertarian for like some state rep house or something, I'll vote for the Libertarian just to fuck you two parties. I don't care. Even if there's like stuff about the Libertarian platform I don't always agree with, they're a third party. I don't want to give any power to. I voted Peace and Freedom Party. I vote for the Greens a lot because I'm very pro environment. And if we don't fix the environment, we're all dead. So there's that. And also Backyard Politics is a show you should check out. Watch that show, watch and subscribe to it, and watch Redneckonomics. Stevie does a great show out of West Virginia. They're like these regional shows that are fantastic. And they need subscribers. We all do. The precursor, shaving knuckles for justice. Boom. Why are you in hiding? Keep Gotham great. I'll just say this. I was on the streets in Santa Monica when the shit went off. And there was cops and undercover cops, and almost got into a fight with a guy. Guy wanted to fight me, and I had to punch him to get him off me. And I think the either mayor or chief of police just stepped down in Santa Monica, and people on the streets knew who I was. So that's what's going on. They've locked up some independent journalists. That's what I'm saying. So I had to move. I'm obviously not in my place. And I got rid of a lot of shit. Just got my life down to 4 suitcases. And I'm just staying mobile. So couldn't bring a 65-inch TV with me. But I'm figuring out I'm going to get a new TV behind me. Because I tried to do this. I like StreamYard's platform to a certain extent. And I thought, well, maybe I can make this work and just do the screen sharing thing, which I like as a nice feature on StreamYard. But production value is important. And Jimmy's right. He's busting my balls, but he's right. And he and I talked on the phone yesterday. And I was telling him about this, and I'm just like, I'm watching, and the look of a show is important. His show looks really crisp. And I had that nice blue background, and I had a nice lighting thing, and this lighting's fine, but behind me, it's true. It's not conducive. So yeah, that's what's up. Look, we're in heavy censorship times. It's Orwellian, you know. Glenn Greenwald had to quit The Intercept because they were censoring him. You know, Susie Dawson is in exile. Edward Snowden is still in exile. Julian Assange is being prosecuted illegally. I'm not at the top of anybody's lists as an indie journalist, but I'm on a list. So they're throttling my numbers. They're trying to impede my financial ability to do this show, because if I can't make money doing the show, then they hope eventually I'll stop. Jimmy's show's gotten so big, it's hard for them to shut that down now, but they don't want me to get that big. They don't want me to go from 70,000 subscribers to 800,000. That's what Jimmy did. He started out, he had 20, 30,000, 40,000 subscribers. He started that out. Then it was 2016 when he blew up, but that was before Google changed the algorithm to fuck over people. But anyway, that's what's up. Louise Brooks, how long do you think Joe will last? And is Nancy automatic for VP, or can they sneak in Pete? Joe won't last a full term. Kamala will be in there, and they'll probably put Buttigieg as or Chelsea Clinton or some horrific thing like that. Yeah, that's what'll happen. There's no way Joe Biden's going to make a full term. Just his health is not good enough. It's not going to happen. 1,125 likes. Let's get it to 1,200. I wear my political vigilante shirt when I voted. Awesome, Mary Hale. It made me smile. I wear mine to protest. That's so rad. You guys wear my shirt to protests. Oh, and I've said this, and I know I'm a little delayed, but I am going to be I had an online store and I had to kind of shut that down because I'm staying mobile, but I'm going to get it. I'm going to use one of these companies that does all the customer fulfillment where you upload logos. And so I'm going to get that'll be available for you. Peter Saturday, Shaving Knuckles for Justice, Peter. What duel would be the ideal pick for the People's Party 2024, and how likely would it be to happen? P.S. Fave Batman comic book story. A two-part question. In the meantime, I'm going to drink some Flint water. Looks fine to me. This is not a stunt. Good, clean Flint water. If it looks dirty to you, your camera's wrong. It's actually a delicious iced tea. People's Party should be somebody like Jesse Ventura and Nina Turner. Because, one, you get the defection of Nina Turner, which is what Jimmy and I were talking about. If she leaves the Democratic Party and runs as a People's Party, she's a badass. She is a full-blown badass. Jesse Ventura, so she's known. She's done enough interviews that people kind of know who she is. Jesse Ventura, everybody knows who he is because he was a wrestler, because he was the governor of Minnesota as a libertarian. He's got his RT show, The World According to Jesse. He's a great interview. That team, it's the two things. It's the several things. It has a big Democratic defection. It has two big name people with a following and a background who can get press, who can bring a lot of press, and they will do interviews on Fox News. I mean, Jesse Ventura will blow. I mean, imagine him on Tucker Carlson. Who's going to back that guy down? Nina Turner ain't backing down, and a former Green Beret, not Green Beret, but Navy SEAL, he's not backing down. And he's actually become more of a lefty, more pro-environment, more since he was governor 20 years ago. So, or 25 or whenever it was, back in the 90s. I can't remember when he was, early 90s. Maybe it's closer to 30 years now, but that would be the best ticket. You have Jesse Ventura, Nina Turner, that's unstoppable. And that's a ticket that can go, he can go into the red states and get those libertarians and red state voters on his side. She'll go into the black community and that's a done deal, man. And imagine them on a debate stage. They'd eat Republicans alive. It wouldn't even be fun. But what they would do to a Democrat, and they finally can take the gloves off against, Ventura has no problem going after the Democrats. I think Nina really wants to take the gloves off against the Democratic Party, but she still has 1 foot in, 1 foot out. She was at the Movement for a People's Party convention, which was awesome. She had great things to say. She can give a speech that's like, oh, I'd fire that woman. I'd follow that woman into war, man. I'd follow both of them. I'd follow them into a burning house. If they said, Graham, I would work on their campaign. I would do whatever I had to do. I'd be like, what do you need me to do? Get a surfboard that has your name on it. Whatever you need me to do, man. Vegan guns. It'll take big name people. Look, I know many of you voted for Howie Hawkins. Great. I get it. You voted for the Peace and Freedom Party and the Socialists. Those are great. La Riva. That's great. Nobody knows who they are. We know them in our little world, but you need somebody that everybody knows. Imagine a billboard with Jesse Ventura saying, I'm going to shake things up on freeways in Mississippi that just passed medical marijuana or legalized recreational marijuana. What? Wait a minute. Nina Turner running in Georgia, South Carolina. These traditional red states could get flipped like that. So that's what I see. Favorite Batman comic book story? I'm a big fan of the Dark Knight graphic novels. I bought those originally when I was a kid. They were great. They were great. They changed my life. The Frank Miller ones, 4-part series. It's great. They drew a lot of, Christopher Nolan drew a lot from those for his movie trilogy. He also drew from Batman Year One and some other stuff. I don't think Ra's al Ghul really isn't in those, but Ra's al Ghul is a great. It's Batman Year One is great comic book story, but the Frank Miller Dark Knight, it's fantastic. It changed my life. Reading that in high school, reading V for Vendetta and The Watchmen in college, changed my mind, man. Changed my life about a lot of things. Todd Stewart, boom. Shave your knuckles for justice. Thank you, Todd. Yes, Nick Thompson. Keep Gotham great. I will. Thank you, Todd Stewart. Recall petition was filed against Seattle City Council member Kashwama Sawant. We knew Amazon would be back. Hope you have her on. Oh, yeah, that's great. Can I design your tiny mobile house? Yes, Gina G, you can. C. Binion Graham, thanks for your great show. Thank you all for support. We had a great turn. I had 1,500 people watching when Jimmy was on. We got 600 watching now, which is great. I hope all the people that came over for just because of Jimmy, which is awesome, I hope they subscribed. Hope they got my subscriber count up. I was on a board with Tulsi until she re-enlisted again in a terrorist military occupying a country that doesn't want them. Yep, I know. Biden won't pardon any of our heroes. Yep. Still no green screen with Gotham in the background. Don't worry. Louise Brooks, set up a GoFundMe for equipment. We will help. You got it, Louise. Thank you. I will do that. Not all people that study journalism suck. Hey, Truth to Tweet. Some more super chatters. Thank you so much for supporting the show. I really appreciate it. Other great ways to support the show are patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You can get bonus content for as little as $2 a month. I do polls. I do funds. You can get early access to the podcast. All of the live streams are archived on Patreon. The audio at the $5 level, the video at the $10 level, and they're also archived on Rockfin. So if you just tuned in or you only saw part of the conversation with Jimmy and you're like, shit, I want to watch more, sign up for Patreon or sign up for Rockfin. And Rockfin, I do these karaoke songs. They're all on Rockfin exclusive. I do a Rockfin members only premium at Monday nights. So check that out. DC Punk, here's my Hail Mary prediction. Glenn Greenwald bet on Trump losing and did a media tour to push for last minute pardon of Snowden. Oh, wow. All right. Interesting prediction. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. Boom, 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 boom. I want to buy a shirt. I will have shirts available soon. I'm going to have them on the Patreon, some unique logos just for Patreon, but then I'm going to set up regular shirts anyone to buy on my website. Vicky Blair, boom. London, Louise Brooks, great idea. I so appreciate your show, Graham. Thank you. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. And the super chats help. And of course, sharing the videos on your social media, liking, subscribing, watching the ads all the way through on YouTube. When you click skip ad, I do not get paid. Open up a separate browser window. People do that. I get it if money's tight for some of you. We're in a recession, a pandemic. I get all that. So listen to the Political Vigilante podcast. I basically just take the audio unedited from these live streams and release them as an audio podcast. That's for free on iTunes and Spotify. So the more downloads we get, that helps our numbers. And if we can build up the download numbers of the audio podcast, then we can get ads for that, which can help. That's ad revenue, which helps. So watch, that's good ways to watch Government Secrets. So thank you for all this. Manifest it. I will just manifest it. Nina Turner 2024. You got that right. Justin Lips Watson. Ba-boom. For your own good, add allegedly to your story. All right. Allegedly. Allegedly targeted, allegedly attacked, allegedly profiled, allegedly. Everything's allegedly. I know. You're right. Thank you for that. Tori Penbeck. Boom. How do we deal with the libs going back to brunch if Biden wins? Tips to stay sane with a neoliberal administration. Well, they're going to go back to brunch. That's going to happen. First of all, I'm going to call on this show and on social media. I'm going to call them out. I'm going to say, I thought you said we were going to pull Joe Biden to the left. He just voted on this. He's not. Are you going to pull him? I'm going to hold him on. I'm going to hold him accountable on that every day. And then the economy is going to collapse, and they're going to be forced to protest. They're going to force to be there. It's going to be. They can't just go, oh, the 5 to 6 million foreclosures under Obama. That didn't affect me. People who didn't get foreclosed upon didn't. I have so many neoliberals. I told them my story and they're like, wait, what? Yeah. And they're like, they almost didn't believe it. I'm like, this happened to millions of people. And they're like, really? It didn't happen right. It doesn't happen right to them. That's the problem with the neoliberals. If it's not right in their face, they don't care about it. It's going to happen. They're going to get evicted. They're going to get foreclosed upon. Their businesses are going to get snatched up. And they can't blame Trump then. Then what? They're going to go out in the streets and protest. And federal cops are going to snatch them up in unmarked vans. And then who are they going to complain? They're going to blame Mitch McConnell? So they're going to get their asses. They're going to go back to brunch. They are going to go back to brunch. And then a fucking bomb's going to, a figurative bomb is going to blow them up. And they're going to have to get in the streets because there's going to be no more brunch because the restaurant's closed and they lost their job and they're living in their car. Unfortunately. I don't want that to happen, but it's coming no matter what. None of your business. Shave your knuckles for justice. Add Brianna Joy as campaign manager. Yes, to the come on now. Jesse Ventura, Nina Turner with Brianna Joy in there. Dr. Victoria Dooley, who I interviewed on this show, who's a big proponent of Medicare for All, who worked on Bernie's campaign. She was his a medical surrogate or whatever she called, she pushed his Medicare for All plan on social media and interviews. Pfft, come on. Killer Mike works on that campaign. No more celebrities. Jesse is a good person, but you got to pull in high profile activists. Jesse is not a celebrity. He was mayor of St. Paul. He was governor of Minnesota. And he was a Navy SEAL. He's not a celebrity. You need people. If you pull in a no name, it won't matter. No one knows who it is. It's not going to rally anybody. He's not just some token celebrity. Wake it up. Gina G. Graham, it's the 5th of November. Remember the 5th of November. V for Vendetta. Read the graphic novels. The movie is more contemporary. They make it more contemporary. And some of the stuff they change in the movie, I'm like, from the graphic novels. But some of the stuff is like, damn, it's right on. America's already collapsed in the V for Vendetta movie. They call it the former United States of America. And they just show it on TV as there's just riots and civil war happening. And they're like, the civil war in America's Midwest is blah, blah. Yeah. Remember the 5th of November. 1 year from today. Gina G. Thanks for that. Kinky 2, what's up? Kinky 2. Thanks for reading my don't support the troops message. Mucho appreciated, Graham. Yes, Kinky. Good to see you back here. I did a little earlier today for Jimmy's schedule and for mine, a little earlier in the day. The nighttime ones are good, but 2 o'clock. It's 5 on the East Coast. And a lot of people from Europe could watch because it's like 10 o'clock at night in Europe when we started, which is really cool. All right. Louise Brooks. What's up, Louise? Making Gotham great again. Those are my sound effects. And another thing, please listen to Government Secrets, the podcast I do with Lee Camp. Government Secrets. We've done 14 episodes. I think we're doing it again tomorrow. We do it live, and I release the whole hour video of it, but then you can download Government Secrets podcast on iTunes and Spotify again. I love doing the show. Lee and I just make each other laugh, and we bring up all these crazy things the government has done over the years. So check that out. Apparently Trump is having a press conference now and saying he won. Of course, we predicted this. Lee talked about it. I've talked about it. Ron talked. We've all said Trump's going to say, "Oh, I won." Then what? I want to donate my time and do your marketing tools. Oh, I could use some help with that. Annabelle Corley. Boom, 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 boom. I joke on this show often to keep the mood light for my American friends, but from the bottom of my heart, I'm thinking of you, and I'm thinking of you all and hope the transition of power does not turn violent. Yeah, I know. Me too. Trump declaring victory is only going to incite his crazy base, which is dangerous. And thank you, Annabelle. I hope you are well down under. Boom, 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 boom. The replay from last night you posted on Rockfin buffers a lot. Wasn't able to watch it. Sorry about that. Well, don't lose faith in Rockfin. They're a smaller platform. They don't have the billions of dollars of Google. So there might be some more tech issues with them on occasion, but still support what they're doing. Watching from Tokyo. What's up, Peter Tiksinski? Go Kits, baby. 11 over 1,100 likes. I love it. I love it. Peter Tiksinski, what's up, dude? Oh, I miss Tokyo. I want to get back there. I hope you're safe there. I know Tokyo's had it. You guys have just worn masks all the time, so you didn't have to shut down your economy because you're not a bunch of lunatics that fight about wearing masks. None of your business. Shaving Knuckles for Justice. Think of using a short throw portable projector TV. Yeah, that's interesting. Just to put a logo thing behind me. I mean, I do like the thing I miss about, and I'm going to get the TV. The thing I liked having is I could bring stuff up and just point right to it and talk about it right here in the graphic, and then have that cool blue screen and the PV logo. But we'll get it. SpaceX had a launch today. All right, folks, I'm going to sing a song and we're going to call it. Yeah, so Rockfin, Kate's talking about what happened. So Rockfin is great because they don't censor the content creators. Convo Couch got a copyright strike and they couldn't post for a week about 2 weeks ago. I had a live stream in April just get pulled, stopped, mid-live stream, stopped. YouTube just stopped it, shut it down, pulled the live stream, And so I started doing more live streams on Rockfin. Rockfin is free to sign up. And if you want the premium content, it's $10 a month. You endorse my channel, and then you get the whole platform, everybody's premium content for only $10 a month. And anytime you watch somebody else's content, they get a little residual income. So basically they take your $10 a month and they keep some of it for their operating costs. And then they take some of it and they spread it around to all the shows that you watch. So just know that every time you watch a video and like it on Rockfin, if you're a $10 premium member, you're helping pay that channel. And then they pay us in cryptocurrency. So they take your 10 American dollars and they convert it to cryptocurrency, their token that they mine, the Ray token, and then they pay us in it. So we're all owners of the channel. It's blockchain. It can't be hijacked. It can't be bought. Google can't come in and buy it. It's impossible. So it's a cool platform. That's why I dig it so much. Yeah, I got a video on Hunter B. I got a lot of Jolene Mack. I mean, I have a whole Epstein playlist on YouTube, but you know, that's one of the reasons my numbers get hurt is because of that. And then I usually end singing a song. Bitcoin just topped 15,000 a coin, by the way. Let's see. Yeah, Trump is not a good guy, but the Democrats could steal it. Yeah, I don't trust any of these parties. They're all stealing it from everything. They're all just rats. They're all just diseased rats. Mm-hmm. I'm going to do Sorry Miss Jackson by Outkast as William Shatner.
Writing's not that easy.
But you won't be able to hear the music because when I play the music on YouTube, they pull the video down for copyright. They don't let me make any money on it. So I won't. That's just been happening. And it's been hurting my numbers. So I will be able to hear it, but you won't. And the video of the I released the whole karaoke on Rockfin Premium, and you can hear the music and everything like that. So if you want it, and it's because of the YouTube, man, copyrighting everybody, thinking they run the world.
Yeah. This goes out to all the babies, mamas, babies, mamas. Yeah, go like this. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000 times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000 times. My baby's drama. She'd be doing things like having them boys come over to her neighborhood, the studio, trying to fight me. She'd need to get a piece of the American pie and take her bite out. That's my house. I disconnect the cable. I turn the lights out. I let her know her grandchild's a baby and not a paycheck, private school, daycare, shit, medical bills. I pay that. I love your mom and everything. But see, I'm the one. She want to rip you and start a custody war. My lawyers stay down. Shit, you never got a chance to hear my side of the story. We was divided. She had fish fries and cookouts. My child's birthday ain't invited. Despite it, I show her the utmost respect when I fail to you to defend the lady when I call you. Yeah, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. Your daughter got this thing going on. You say it's puppy love. We say it's full grown. Hope that we feel this way forever. You can plan a pretty picnic, but you can't predict the weather. Miss Jackson, 10 out of 9 times. Now I'm flying fine. The quickest muzzle, throw out my mouth and I'll decline. King meets queen and puppy love thing together. Dream about the crib, the good year, or the oak tree. I hope we feel like this forever, forever. Forever, ever? Forever, ever? Forever seems that long until you're grown, and notice the day by day really can't be too wrong. Miss Jackson, my intentions were good. I wish I could become a magician. Abracadabra, the sadder. Thoughts of me, thoughts of she, thoughts of he, asking what happened and feeling that her and me. Pray so much about the I need knee pads. It happened for a reason. One can't be mad. So know this, that everything is cool. And yes, I will be present on the first day of school and graduation. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. Spock, I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. Look at the way she treats me. Shit, look at the way she treats me. You little naughty-ass homegirls down up your ass, son at the creek, without a paddle left to straddle and ride this thing out. Now you and your girl ain't speaking no more, cuz dick in the mouth. What am I talking? Jealousy, infidelity, envy, cheating, beating, even the G thing, the same thing. So who are you placing the blame on? You got to keep singing that same song, that bygones be gone, so you can go ahead and get the hell on. You and your mom. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. But Jackson, I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Never meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. Sorry, Miss Jackson. I am for real. Meant to make your daughter cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. Folks, that's the show. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Anna Jackson, thank you, Grant, for the apology. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. I am so sorry. I am for real. Never meant to make you cry. I apologize 1,000,000,000 times. Sebastiano playing the music in my head. So if you want to watch the full karaoke with music, you got to be a Rockfin Premium subscriber, and that's because YouTube throttles the shit out of everything. This was a great show, everybody. Almost 1,200 likes. Really fantastic. Thanks, everybody. Nice turnout. Thank you to everybody over at the Rockfin. Can we get a little Timberlake as you tonight? Monday, my premium members Monday's live stream. Mondays at 8:00 Pacific time. It's just on Rockfin, so I play video and songs and all this copyright shit I can't get in trouble for on Rockfin. It's very free. There's this nice little group of us. We hang out. I talk politics. I'll do some segments, but man, I sing music. We goof off more. It's a fun time. But I will be live again tomorrow with Lee Camp, probably around 4:00 Pacific time. I'll confirm that with Lee tonight. But we'll do government secrets tomorrow. live stream tomorrow with Lee Camp from Government Secret. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, everybody watching over the Facebook and on the Rockford, and to everybody in the YouTube world. This is Grab Elwood from the Political Vigilante World Headquarters. I will have a better background soon. Thanks to Jimmy Dore shaming me. Thanks, everybody. Stay safe. Work together. We're all in this together. The oligarchs want us divided. They want us divided, distracted, and afraid. We are not in a race war. We are in class warfare. Capitalism is evil. The boom makes us fight with each other. Capitalism makes us fight with each other. The world is run by a bunch of sex trafficking, billionaire, pedophile monsters. They're the real enemy. Remember that. Shave your knuckles for justice. You're all making Gotham great again.